you believe that we started recording right in the middle of 2020 with all of the COVID and lockdowns going on around us, unable to meet up? So like many a young gentleman, we turned to the internet for our entertainment. Tried to find a place where we could meet up and talk about the good, the bad, and that time that Stu saw a pelican on the canal. In order to facilitate our dreams of answering all of the big questions in film, and after a few attempts at recording via other methods to various levels of success, we found Zencastr, a super easy web-based one-stop shop for recording. Log in and you're ready to record in a matter of seconds. It doesn't take a tech genius to get high-quality audio or video. And on top of that, the one time we have had an issue, the fact that the multi-layered backups are stored locally means it's easily fixed all in browser. There are plenty of tools you need when you start podcasting, so let Zencastr take that headache away as it offers a place to record, edit and distribute all from one website. Any lazy bones Jones can pick up and play and have studio quality audio or 4K video put out for the world to see when using Zencastr. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code CAGEFIGHTING and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. We want you to have the same easy experiences we do for all our podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story. And now, hit the music.
I feel the need for speed.
Hello and welcome to Cage Fighting, Cruise Control. It's your main man, Andy Gillard here. Hope you're all keeping well in the world right now.
Back once again, the Renegade Master. Hello, everyone. Weird this is. I don't think I've ever gone like 3 weeks without doing a podcast of any kind for the last like 6 years. Strange world.
I've been relegated to third now. Hello.
I mean, Stu, in the lifetime of Cage Fighting and Cage Fighting Cruise Control, I don't think you've missed more than 2 or maybe 3 episodes overall. So to have missed 2 in a row is, it's unheard of.
Yeah, I mean, we would have in the past it works better this way because we don't have to do it. But
yeah,
we put one out in the old wank bank just in case. But it worked fine. My plan was to save them and listen to them in the pool, but I never got around the pool. So I've got I didn't want to watch Cocktail again anyway, so I won with that one.
Neither did I, fuck's sake. Yeah.
The other one, I mean, I've got it saved. I mean, that's my plan for the weekend after we obviously get relegated. And I'll watch the films and then listen to it impartially before making my own mind up. But yeah, it was weird. Very strange place, America. Even weirder being there for that long.
Yeah, and like it's not even like proper America, is it? It's almost like a cartoon version of America that you see, I think, when you're in that area. Yeah,
and I mean, I did do football shirt watch, obviously, as I put in the fancast group. So that was a nice game to play. But other than that, just for context, going to the Miller's Ale Bar to watch us get smashed by West Ham. There was just people just being very confused while we were there. One, why are you these random Wolverhampton people in a bar on a Friday afternoon in the middle of Orlando? And then 2, being there to watch that team. We got talking. They still didn't understand at the end, but yeah, my first ever time of going to a bar on my own. Well, I didn't know really what to do. I was sat down, and they were like, it was one of them square ones. And the woman came over, and she's like, "Do you want a 16 or a 32 or a bottle?" I went, I have no idea what any of that means. They're the closest to a point in that one in the menu. And she's like, do you want to close it out or leave it open? I went, I'll just pay for it now, whichever one that means. And so that was entertaining for them. And I had some Canadian whiskey, and then I had some peanut butter whiskey.
Oh, wow, okay. Which
was the reason why Mom was sitting on the floor of the car park waiting for the Uber back.
Jeez.
It was potent stuff. But yeah, it was an enjoyable break. And I didn't watch anything other than, I'm pretty sure I talked about it at the time when I watched it at the end of last year. All Her Fault? Sarah Snook?
Yeah. The
So
5-part, 6-part crime documentary, adaptation, I think it is.
yeah, it's an adaptation of a book, 8 episodes, 8 hours. Someone was watching it on the plane. I thought, oh, this is going to be just to watch secondhand, watch their reactions to it. Oh yes, this is going to be excellent. Never got, obviously it was 9 hour there, 8 hour back. Never got the payoff, but I got the reactions of some of the twists and turns in throughout the series, and it was great fun. I was secondhand watching that, listening to podcasts, and watching the little plane on the screen flying across water. There's nothing else to look at, is there? But yeah, it was fun, and everyone should watch. It's buried on Peacock. I don't even know if it's available over here. I've got no idea.
I think I'm sure I saw it advertised for one of the Sky channels on a billboard. I think.
Might have
So I
been
think we
Atlantic,
did get it
probably.
at some point, but yeah, I saw it at the same time as yourself when it was originally on whatever streaming service it was.
Yeah, I think it was mentioned in passing, but yeah, just to revisit that, it needs watching because it's great.
Well, I mean, she's just brilliant, though, isn't she? Like, I feel like she's the type of actor who can sustain any kind of show, really. So yeah, brilliant. Right, so we're here to look at the summer preview, but before we get into that, Sony Pictures CEO Tom Rothman said at CinemaCon this week, which is the biggest convention for the movie-going experience, he said that admissions are clearly down from pre-COVID and we all have urgent work to do. He said that the studios need to deliver great movies, but the theatres need to play their part too. They need to enforce longer windows, even if that means you cannot play every film. Like, how many times have I moaned about Cineworld not showing films that I wanted to see? But also the number of times I've said that a film is available to legally stream that is still on at the cinema as well. Like, they're shooting themselves in the foot here by not enforcing these periods of time where these films need to be exclusive to them. That's the first thing he said. But Stu, like, how long realistically should a film be exclusive? How long should we have to wait before it? Because there is an issue in regards to distribution where they can't always marry it up where it's day and date world over. But I feel like they need to stop that first and also have a period of time, give them a bit of grace.
Yeah, there's absolutely no point anymore of if it's available on VOD. Like, when we had one, didn't we? A couple of years ago. The Christmas one. What can I think of what it was called?
Red one.
Holdovers.
That was. We didn't even get it till fucking January, did we? That year?
Yeah, it's halfway through January, and obviously that came out in like November time in America. So we just watched it as soon as we could get our hands on it, and in time for Christmas because it's a Christmas film. Things like that are just fucking stupid. It makes no sense. So that needs sorting first and foremost. Release things properly. But like Matt said before, though, people have been trained now to expect it sooner. You're never going to go back. That's not been put back in the bottle, is it? So I don't really have a problem with a 4 to 6 week runtime and then it be available in a modern world when you've got so much other stuff to watch anyway. I think 6 weeks is probably the sweet spot now. But don't do it anything less than that. It's a waste of time.
Even I think that's too lenient. Because you are right. We've taught people that you just don't have to wait for stuff, and that they need to be shown that actually you either go to the cinema and see it, or you wait 6 months. Go fuck yourself. Like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck spoke before about that bounce they used to get with DVD sales coming 6 to 12 months later, which is just completely eroded now. And I don't necessarily think it would be a bad thing to go back to that somewhat, but we know they won't because they would rather strike while the iron's hot and try and get that little bit extra. But yeah. Ash, the other thing that he said was you need to look at your pricing, make going to the cinema affordable again. Now, £8 is the average price in 2025 in the UK. It's over $16 in the US. Like, I don't think £8 as an average is awful. But I suspect that that's lower because of Orange Wednesdays or whatever bollocks it's called now. So the price is probably a little bit skewed there, isn't it? But I think $16 feels criminal. That feels too high for me. If you go on your own, that feels quite expensive for 2 hours to just go out. But if you've got a family of 2 adults, 2 kids, that soon adds up as well, doesn't it? Like that's $32, $64. That seems a lot.
That's a lot. I think we need to look at the bigger picture as well. That's the Sony CEO having a go at the cinemas. This is the motherfucker that is the fucking head of the company that made us Morbius and Madam Web. Like you need to look a bit closer to home here, sunshine. Like, we need. I can't remember who said it before, but the filmmakers need to be doing better as well. Like, it's a two-way street, like, or three-way street in this sense. The customers need to come more. The cinema tickets need to drop, but they also need to give us a reason to come. And Sony are the fucking worst of it at the moment. Like, Kraven the Hunter. People aren't going to come to the cinema if you're offering them Kraven the fucking Hunter.
Yeah, a lot of misses, aren't there?
Yeah.
Most importantly, to me, Rothman said, get rid of the endless advertising and substantially shorten the long pre-shows. Get off the ad crack, he said. He bemoaned the number of advertisements playing in between trailers now. Cinemas have trained their audiences to turn up late to avoid advertisements, but that also means that they're not going to see the trailers for the films. So, like, that enticement is just completely gone to waste somewhat. So this week I went to see Undertone, as you gentlemen know. The show time was, I think it was 8:10. There was 14 minutes of adverts, like actual adverts for cars and food and TV shows. There was 10 minutes of trailers, and then there was another 4 minutes of advertisements for ITV Plus or whatever. Stu, the balance feels all out. I understand we need to show trailers because, like, don't get me wrong, we're not the 4 films a year crowd. But those people, if they do turn up, they're going to be missing these films that might get them to be a 5 film a year crowd. These advertisements, they just feel like they're really taking the piss with them now.
The best way it used to work was when you had no idea how long it would be. Like, sometimes you'd turn up, you could probably be 5 minutes late and get away with it. But sometimes you'd have one trailer, one advert, film. Other times, you'd wait half hour. When it went to 40 minutes, that was taking the piss. That was ridiculous. But you're right, though. Like, you expect it, and you see it. I mean, people have started getting caught out by it, though. I've seen that in the last few that I've been to, where people start coming in when the names are still appearing on the screen at the start of the film. Or they've underestimated how long the things are going to be. But it's a trade-off. Like, you either want tickets to be cheaper, and does that mean longer trailers? Shouldn't do, but it probably will. Or are they clever about it and say, look, we're only going to play yours? It's like with football, when they went from static advertising boards to the moving things with the little vitality dogs running around. It's different. It's different amounts now because you're not guaranteed to have your thing on when the moment happens. So you all pay a premium, and you just never know. It's like that. Like, pay up because you could be the one that's advertised more in this screening than the next one, and you don't know who's going to see it for which film. It's not tailored, and it's an actual bit of effort that they'll have to go to, so it will never happen. But something like that has to work because, like you said, no one's seen these stuff. No one's seen these film trailers, and especially when it does the Coke thing, or the Pepsi thing in our case. And then it shows Cineworld stuff, which you're already in a Cineworld anyway. You don't need it. You know what's there. And then there's something else after that. That's when it's going too far. It used to be one extra thing after the trailers film. That worked fine. But now it's getting to the stage where you're pushing it too much and it's pissing people off. And then they start talking about it, and then they're not quite for when the film starts, so it's annoying even more people. It's an endless cycle of hell.
Yeah. Ash, do you agree with that? Is it too many advertisements, not enough trailers? I think the balance is just wrong there. It doesn't seem right to me that we're advertising stuff that's of no consequence to a cinema-going audience.
The problem is that's where the money is, though, isn't it? That's a lot of where the money is. Might be a bit tinfoil hatter's sense, but do we need trailers now?
No.
Like, it's a different world now. Like, we're in a different existence of, like, as soon as a trailer comes out, it comes out online or it comes out on the thing. Like, the people who are not gonna see these trailers, you're not gonna get much money from them anyway. Mm-hmm. So who are we really missing out to? Just sack the trailers off. Because, say, Marvel are going to bring out a Doomsday trailer. It's not going to be released in the cinema first. It's going to be online. It's going to be on Twitter or YouTube or something like that. People who are going to want to see these things are going to see the trailers before they come to the cinema anyway. It's not like the old days of you're only going to see a trailer when you're going to the cinema.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like nearly enough every trailer I've seen recently, I've seen online already because they're just everywhere now. It's a different world. You don't need them. You could save 20 minutes just there.
Fair. The other thing to come out of CinemaCon, Paramount have confirmed that Top Gun 3 is in the works with crews returning, and it looks like there's a fair few familiar faces behind the camera. Aaron Kruger he co-wrote Maverick, and he's also writing this one. Jerry Bruckheimer is producing again as well. So that's good news. Like, it was sort of rumoured a couple of 3 years ago anyway that it was happening, but it's now confirmed. Stu, I'd got it completely wrong with Maverick. I didn't know who was going to be turning up for it. I think this will be the film of the summer whenever it hits.
Another film with Glenn Powell in. Another one to tick the box. 6 a year. Yeah, of course it will. It'll be massive. It'll get people who love Top Gun. Maverick was bigger than even I thought it would be. And it kind of, and you look at the turnout for what Mario's had already. Regardless of how good it is, it means nothing now. Top Gun 3 is going to be... I don't think they'll beat Maverick. That'll be a bit of a stretch, but it'll make a shitload. It'll make $1 billion easy.
You'd like to think so, yeah. Ash, you said you took your mom to see Maverick. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if they're doing it in this country, but I know in the US, May 13th is Top Gun Day, and they're re-releasing it in the States. I'm kind of hoping we get it, so you have to let Mitch know, and we can have another day out and go and see that.
The boomers yearn for planes.
That's it. Onto the summer slate. I hadn't realised, but Shrek 5 has been delayed twice, apparently. So I thought that we were getting it later this summer. It was one of the first titles I wrote down for us to discuss. But apparently it was supposed to be out in June, then it was pushed back to December, and now it's going to be June next year. Like, there are two other big animated names out this year, so it kind of seems like DreamWorks just didn't fancy the battle against them. But before we dive into what we are getting, the Shrek series sort of fell off somewhat. Like 1 and 2, I think, were really good. 3 was terrible, and I didn't even bother with 4 because it was like the reviews were so negative. We did have 2 Puss in Boots films, which were very middling, 2011 and 14, but then Last Wish came in 2022, which by all accounts was absolutely outstanding. But we're going to be 5 years removed from even that. Do we need a Shrek 5, Stu? Like, I'm very indifferent to this one because it was really good and then it was just not. So I don't know. I don't know what to think of this.
Yeah, it seems like... I mean, we know what will happen here again. But it is people who watch Shrek who have now got kids who will be watching Shrek. That's who this is for. And I think it's been removed from that for a long time because I know Matt loved the Puss in Boots film. Mm-hmm. And it was good. I didn't get as hyped as most people did with it. It was fine. But like where we were completely off with How to Train Your Dragon and not knowing how massive that was. I mean, when I went to the How to Train Your Dragon area of Epic Universe, people walking in, I mean, including my niece, I mean, Alana's eyes were like, there was tears in her eyes walking into that area. And the sheer amount of people there was on a par with the amount of people that was in Super Mario World. It's absolutely huge. I think that's kind of taken Shrek's mantle a little bit. And they've got a non-Disney animated stakes. So I just don't know. I think it'll either work or this is the absolute end.
Ash, I don't actually know, but I presume Mike Myers is returning and Cameron Diaz. Those are 2 names that haven't really done a great deal of... Either they've done stuff that's shit and people have ignored, or they just haven't done a lot. in the last sort of 10 to 15 years, they're not really a draw. And I don't know if Shrek is a draw anymore. What do you think?
Just for reference sake, I've always been Team Hiccup and Toothless, so none of this is a surprise to me. If I went there, I'd be in tears too. Trust me.
I mean, I was like that in Pandora. Like, as soon as I saw the hanging mountains, excellent ride as well.
You need to grow up, both of you.
How's the turtles?
I mean, genuinely. So in Smith's toy store, around the way on Bilston, they've got a Leonardo, like a life-size Leonardo, and I turned the corner, didn't know it was there, and I just saw it, and it fucking eyeballed me. I teared up. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ! It was something special. I was not expecting it.
Did you go and ask them if you could buy it?
I did look to see if there was a price tag on it, but there wasn't one. I presume they bought it for the store have bought it. If it was Mikey, I probably would have asked them. But yeah, it was special.
Well, where were we? Shrek. Yeah. Mike Myers seems to have really just fallen off. I wouldn't be surprised if there's another Austin Powers coming just to, boost the bank balance a little bit. I think the only one that this sort of benefits is Eddie Murphy, because he can't seem to do anything right if it's not playing donkey. But yeah, it feels like that was sort of the prototype. It feels a bit like Bug's Life or something like that for Pixar. Like, it was the good first one, but then other things have just blown it out of the water and sort of left it behind. Even Puss in Boots has left it behind in a sense. The Last Wish was very good, but yeah, just I don't have a yearning for Shrek, and I think if you took away what's the song? Is it take away the song from the very start?
Was it Daydream Believer?
Yeah,
I believe that was it. Yeah.
No, it wasn't that one. No, there's when he comes out of the
All-Star Smash Mouth.
All-Star. Yeah, take that away. It's not much at all, I don't think, really. I've never been a big Shrek fan, to be honest.
That's entirely fair. We'll talk about that next year anyway, when we finally get to it. Moving into May then. So I haven't really put the dates down of these films, but these are some of the big hitters that are going to be out that month. I think we've got to start with the Mandalorian and Grogu movie.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's Jeremy Allen White, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni is involved, Sigourney Weaver, our boy Pedro. It's all the big names that you expect to see in this film, making the leap from the small screen to the big. Stu, it's been a bit of a while since we've had any Mandalorian stuff, and now we're getting this film. And it kind of, I'm hoping it's the calm before the storm, but it feels very quiet on the ground around this movie at the moment.
Yeah, I think probably rightfully so after what they've done to Star Wars. But it's Pedro, and Pedro sells on his own now, without all the Mandalorian stuff. It was not very quiet at Galaxy's Edge, as you'd expect. It was absolutely everywhere, and everyone talking about it, but they are Star Wars nerds, obviously. And it'll be weird seeing Star Wars in the cinema again after so long, and it feeling a bit odd, a bit like when we watch Solo, like this is not real. It's kind of like the offshoots. But yeah, I genuinely have no idea about this one. It doesn't seem to be. Well, there's people who still don't know what Grogu is not Yoda, and that's going to be a big thing with this for the absolute casuals. Guaranteed, it's going to happen. I mean, there were people at Disney with the same thing. Like people walking in, oh, it's Baby Yoda, and it's not Baby Yoda. And the people there were very clear to say this to them every time it was mentioned. But we were walking around and it happened so many times. It was unbelievable. I think, well, this is one of the biggest Disney Plus shows ever. There's a film about this character coming out soon, and these people still don't understand what this is. So, yeah, I don't think I think it'll probably make its money back. I don't expect it to be huge, which is a shame.
Yeah, the budget's looking at around $165 million. I'm kind of thinking it's going to hit 4 to 5, maybe. Like, if I'm being super positive, because the nerds are going to turn up, because we always do. But I'm not expecting $1 billion here. Yeah. Ash, you're not like as wedded to the Star Wars universe as most, are you? From what I remember.
No,
So,
not at
like,
all.
are you excited for this one, in even remotely?
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed the Mandalorian TV show. I think I'm more excited for it because obviously I've heard from bigger nerds than me that wasn't season 3 wasn't meant to have Grogu, and they had to sort of write him in. Whereas this is going to be fully involving him, so I feel like this story is going to be more suited to what we're expecting. Whereas obviously season 3 just felt overproduced and over edited. So now we might actually get a proper like made story. So I'm quite excited for this, to be honest.
Excellent. Mortal Kombat 2, 8th of May. Carl Urban, Jessica McNamee, Josh Lawson, Jeremy Slater's in it, Martin Ford. Like, there's some action names in this. Mechad Brooks, wasn't he Jimmy Olsen in Supergirl, Stu?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wonder. Oh, I'm guessing like he's the only name that I know on that list that he's a black person. So I'm guessing he's playing Jax because that's the only black character in the game, isn't it? So that would sort of make some sense. I remember saying before that whenever a Transformers film comes out, I get really excited because I think this is going to be the one that's going to be brilliant, and it ends up being shit.
And they all are.
And I kind of feel like Mortal Kombat 2 is doing that to me. Like, I was really excited for the first one and it was crap, and I've seen bits of Mortal Kombat 2 and I'm like, fuck, this is going to be the one, this is going to be it. It's probably going to be crap, but I'm quite excited for it now, Stu.
I mean, I liked the first one, the one before this one, a lot more than most people did, even though it was abysmally bad. And
Yeah.
I expect them to lean into that shitness with this, because if they're trying to go too serious, I mean, Street Fighter, I'm guessing, is on this list as well.
October we're getting it, so we'll talk about it down the line.
I mean, the trailer for that has come out today. I mean, every fibre of my being wants to watch it because of how bad it looked at the Game Awards.
It looks shonky as fuck. I've only seen still images, but it looks terrible.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point. I'm kind of glad that we get this kind of nonsense because it's either things that are really serious and low budget or things that cost so much money and are a disappointment. We don't get things that are quite high budget and just shit, but funny. And that's what this is going to be. And we all know it is.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. First day.
Absolutely. Ash, what are your thoughts on Mortal Kombat 2?
Ditto. Literally, like, this is the shit you need. Like, it's the argument of film versus movie, isn't it? And if you're gonna be shit, then be entertaining shit. Like, as long as you know where you are and you know what you're doing, then it's fine. Like, I don't think anybody's going to go into this movie and go into this experience like expecting anything more. Like, and if you do, then it's on you.
Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah, I'm just looking on Google at Mortal Kombat 2 for some reason at the showcase in Dudley. They're already advertising it for the 7th of May, Thursday the 7th of May, with the showing at 9/11. Hashtag never forget. Why are they showing it? Like, am I missing something? Why is it at 9/11? Why is that linked to something? Like 21/11 is, in the evening is the time. I'm a bit confused why they've put that on then. That seems weird.
21/11, is that some kind of like link to the release date of the game? Maybe.
Maybe. I'm just a little bit confused with that one. Anyway, I'm sure we'll find out why closer to the time.
The last film I went to see that was like that was Die Another Day, and that was because we went at 7 minutes past midnight just so we had 007 on our tickets.
Yeah, of course you did.
We did that after watching whatever Harry Potter, maybe Goblet of Fire, maybe, I don't know, whichever one was out at the same time. We'd watched that, we came out, realised that Die Another Day was on immediately after, and just bought the tickets and went again. Big mistake. Surfing Bond, CG Surfing Bond. Look it up on YouTube if you've seen it, Andy. It's amazing.
I think I've seen that one. I have seen a couple of the
Madonna
Pierce Brosnan ones, because the Pierce Brosnan ones are the ones that have been on How Did This Get Made, because they're awful. So I have seen a couple of them, and yeah, they're not good.
I remember the opening weekend. Do you remember the film 2012? They did. Our cinema did. We did 12 minutes past 8 showings of 2012. That was a shitter.
Yeah, it's not a good film. We're also getting a sequel to The Devil Wears Prada. Like, I think it's been... When was the first one? Was it 2005 or something like that? 2006? So I have a feeling this might be the sleeper hit of the summer. Like, a bit like how The Housemaid ended up just making buckets of money because it appeals to quite a specific audience. I think The Devil Wears Prada is going to appeal to the same audience. I think they're going to turn out. The budget is estimated to be 35 million. I think they're going to absolutely fucking crush it this summer. I think I could easily see it being 10, 15 times that budget. Stu, what do you reckon? I mean, are you a fan of The Devil Wears Prada anyway?
Never seen
Who
it.
doesn't love the two? Oh, it's fucking Stanley Tucci.
Yeah, I know it is, but it's like as appealing as going through duty free. It's like I've got no interest in it whatsoever. It's not my thing at all.
Great.
It's like Sex and the City. No, not once. Once I realised that it wasn't Red Shoe Diaries, and there was a possibility of something happening. It's like, no, this is not for me at all. It's obviously not for me, but it's for someone. And then Desperate Housewives, which was a good show, they're going to be there. They're going to be there. They're all dried up, all laughing themselves silly. It's going to be amazing, and it will make more money than a lot of films make this year. Easy.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the biggest one of May. Just putting it out there. Ash, I presume you don't give a shit about this one either.
No. The only thing I've seen that I quite like is the thingy popcorn bucket. It's a red bag, like a handbag. That looked quite cool, but no,
that's quite funny.
Not for me.
Right, Stu, I'm going to come to you with this one. A movie called In the Grey. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Guy Ritchie. It's starring Henry Cavill, who, like, his star has faded quite massively, I think. But Jake Gyllenhaal's in it. Rosamund Pike's also in it. Isa Gonzalez, who is hot as fuck. In the Grey follows a covert team of elite operatives who live in the global shadows as comfortable wielding power and influence as they are automatic weapons and high explosive. It kind of sounds like it's going to be big silly bollocks. I feel like this is probably going to be your kind of film.
Oh, it's ticking every box, that is. Like, it could be like The Gentleman, though. You like that?
No, I didn't. I couldn't get through 20 minutes of it. The accents were like, I'm not watching this. Fuck that. I just don't like Guy Ritchie.
Comedy Hugh Grant. If it's anything like that, then yeah, great. I expect it, from that right up, I expect it to be silly. And a proper, like the old patented kebab film. That's what this sounds like.
I worry that it's going to be like Argyle, you know, the film from a couple of years ago that I didn't hate at the time, but actually in retrospect, it was dog shit. It sort of stinks of that to me. Ash, I'm going to give you a cast and then tell me whether or not you'd be interested in seeing this cast in a film. So Nicholas Galitzine, he's going to be He-Man coming up this summer, Bryan Cranston, Hugh Jackman, Regina Hall, Phil Lord, Patrick Stewart, Nicholas Braun, Bella Ramsey, Brett Goldstein, Emma Thompson, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Now, this says like everyone's cup of tea. Like, that is a cast and a half, isn't it?
Can I guess it?
Go on.
Is it the Sheep Detective?
It's the Sheep Detectives.
Yeah!
In this witty new breed of mystery, Hugh Jackman is a shepherd who reads detective novels to his beloved sheep every night, assuming they can't possibly understand. But when a mysterious incident disrupts life on the farm, the sheep realise they must become the detectives. This sounds fucking amazing, and I can't understand it, but I'm there.
Is this animated?
No.
What?
Sheep.
It's the sheep are voiced by some of the names I've mentioned. I think Hugh Jackman might be the only human of the bunch that I've seen there. I think the rest are the sheep's voices.
Have you seen Brett Gold? I'm guessing you guys haven't seen any of this. I'm fully invested in it. Brett Goldstein he plays a pair of like twin sheep, and they're named Reggie and Ronnie.
Reggie Ronnie Craig.
It's coming. You know it's coming. Yeah, I'm all in.
Is this going to be as good as Black Sheep was, though?
I did enjoy Black Sheep. That was
Nothing
some
will beat Black Sheep.
silly nonsense, that was. Yeah. I'm quite looking forward to it. The first I heard of it, I was very dismissive, and then I've seen like 10 seconds of the trailer, and I was like, oh, okay. Even though it's Hugh Jackman, I'm in, because that does sound fun.
I think Chris O'Dowd's in it as well.
Okay, another one, it's just another name that I kind of like most of the things that he does.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And Emma
quite
Thompson.
impressed. Yeah, we do love a bit of Emma Thompson. Moving into June, it's the first of the big hitter animated films that we mentioned. Toy Story 5. Ash, they should never have made 4, but they got away with it, and it ended up being a decent film. They should never have made 5. Will they get away with it? Do you think it'll be a decent film?
Of course they will. They've actually got a decent story for this one. Like
Yeah.
they've somehow struck gold. Like the well will never dry with Toy Story. But the fact that they've gone for the evil, like learning pad or whatever it is, it's just going to be perfect. Like adults are going to love this. Like to go away from the physical toys and go into the evil digital thing. Oh, it's just everyone's going to go nuts for it. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure in the thingy of the year preview of the year, I said this is going to be the big boy. This is money.
It's next month when we get to the next animated film. We'll discuss that then, which one's going to be the winner. Stu, thoughts on Toy Story 5? Is it going to be... Like, do we need to worry about it? Because let's be honest, any time we've had any doubts about this series, like they've just completely confounded everybody, every time.
Yeah. I mean, I mentioned it already, but look at the reviews for the Mario Galaxy movie and how ridiculous they were compared to how much money it's made. There is, in no universe is this going to be a problem for anyone. Like I said, it's genius. Well, I don't know why they didn't do this before. And they could have done this before. It was around about the time that it was tablets and stuff like that was starting, and screens and screen time was starting to be an issue. Now it's well, it depends if you're sensible or not. But for some people, it's a massive issue, and you're kind of seeing it firsthand. You let them things get hold of them, especially with King Roblox and Fortnite, which I'm guessing will not be in this, but still, it's a ThinkPad. The idea is still the same. It's genius. It's genius. It can't not work.
What I kind of like about Toy Story, so the first one was 95, then it was 99, 2010, 19, and now 26. I like the fact that they're not just rushing them out. Like in gaming terms, it's not just shovelware, is it? They're giving the story the room that it needs to make an impact. And then it's bringing new generations in. So the next generation of kids can come in, they can watch this, and there's all these other things from before as well that will still have some significance. Like, I don't think Toy Story, the original, even though at this point it's 31 years old, I don't think that's necessarily going to be unrecognisable to kids today. They're still going to understand, the premise of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that stupid Lego thing with the Lego smart blocks. It's exactly what the first Toy Story was about. Traditional toys versus tech. It's always kind of been there. I think we will get to a stage where Toy Story 1 and 2 are going to get remade, just because they look a bit shit now. 3 still looks pretty good, actually. But the first 2 are definitely primitive and of their time.
No, I'm not buying that with 2. The scene where he fixes him, that holds up.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
There's bits in it where it looks like it could be rendered now, but there's other bits where it looks very bland. Especially, I mean, compared to 4, which is photoreal, which kind of ruins everything. But it's the character models are the problem. If you're going to market it and it's Disney remaking things, which we know they kind of like to do, it wouldn't surprise me at some point.
Am I big brain in this? But do you reckon that they had a plan for this all along, and they used 4 as a transitional film to get us sort of to a position where they can have a year with Bonnie, have a year with all this sort of stuff, get us used to Bonnie a little bit more, so that it's not just going from she's with the toys now and then there's the big bad of the lily pad. I don't know whether I'm just overthinking this, but it feels like 4 was just meant to be the transitional film to get us more used to Bonnie, and then the big bad is the tech of this little girl growing up, obviously going with the times. But I wouldn't put it past them that this has been a thought for them. Because 2010 was what? Did you say 2010 was Toy Story 3?
Yeah.
So kids would have had iPads at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be surprised if there was some chud of an exec in the Pixar world going, we can do another film here where kids have got technology now and they've gone, we could do something here, but let's churn out a film for in between just to keep it rolling.
Mm.
And then 5's the Avengers Doomsday of the Toy Story world.
Mm-hmm.
In that would
make sense. Mm. Scary Movie 6. I don't know if I'm going to be in the minority. I'm almost certain I'm going to be in the minority. I don't think any of these films are even remotely funny. I think they're fucking dog shit. And I don't understand why they've come back after all this time. Like, no one was particularly calling for them. And like the problem is, I've said it a million times, horror and comedy are the same thing. Like, they're the two sides of the same coin. So by them parodying horror, it just doesn't work on so many levels. Like, they're parodying Weapons. Weapons is a comedy. Like, for the vast majority of the runtime of that film, it's a comedy. You can't parody comedy. Like, it just doesn't work. I really don't know how this is going to go. Stu, is there a lot of nostalgia for the Scary Movie films?
Of course there is. I don't know what they're smirkable, if that's even a thing. There's like a few like belly laughs in the first 3. It's been so long, I don't know which one's which anymore. But I watched the trailer for this, whichever film it was on before, and I smiled a couple of times. It wasn't like Naked Gun, which was like outrageous and deserved to come back. This has got the huge problem that because it is parodying films like Weapons, and was the Substance in there as well somewhere?
Yeah, and Megan's another one. Again, another film that's very high on camp comedy, even though it's supposed to be a horror. It's
not like before where Scary Movie was parodying Scream, because Scream is the biggest thing ever. These films are for niche horror people. They haven't really crossed over. However big they were, they're not part of the conversation with normal people. So it doesn't work. Like, people were just sitting there, and there was no laughing or anything, because you're watching something that you don't know what it is. Like, why is this funny? No, I don't know. I probably will watch it if there's nothing else. I'm not going to run to it with my arms out like Naruto. But I'll give it a go, but I'm not expecting anything.
For reference, it's released on Friday the 5th of June, same day as like the next film we'll be talking about, Masters of the Universe. So immediately it's on. It's not anywhere near the top. Like, I'd even go and see the 30th anniversary of Trainspotting before I'll go and see this. I'm just not interested. Oh, Power Ballad, the new Paul Rudd film's out that day as well. It's not even a consideration. Caroline with Samara Weaving, that's another film immediately above it because she's in it. Ash, like, obviously being that bit younger, was this the talk of the playground? The Scary Movie stuff? Like, is it something that people are clamouring for? I just don't get it.
The children do not yearn for Scary Movie. No, do you know what? I've watched number 1 and that's it. Like, I don't think it would... Well, I blame the Budweiser. I blame the Budweiser advert. That's, for me, that's the only reason that took on as much as it did. Nah, I've got no interest in this whatsoever.
No. Same. So, as I said, Masters of the Universe is out. We had one with Dolph Lundgren back in the 80s, and it was terrible, but I still kind of love it, even in spite of how bad it is. This looks like the Masters of the Universe of my youth. Like, this looks like the animated show. I'm kind of worried that it's just going to be big screen volume nonsense, and it'll just be a big crashy bashy mess. But I'm still really excited about seeing it because it's the He-Man of my youth. Stu, I'm assuming you've got to be on the same side of the tracks as me on this one.
I mean, I haven't seen anything about it because I don't want to, because I want to watch it anyway. And He-Man is ridiculous, so it doesn't matter how bad it is. It's deliberately camp by design. So, I mean, all I've heard is him saying I have the power, which doesn't sound great. But then, what are you going to do? That the Dolph Lundgren, it can't be as bad as that. And even that was kind of semi-fun. But you are in the Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat era with that film as well, in the kind of late 80s, early 90s, where making things of already established properties in a shit way. Mario film as well. So even if it's like a 6 out of 10 and it's just a fun old time with some bit of nostalgia, that's enough for me.
Same. Ash, we spoke briefly before the podcast talking about the Mario film, and you said about how at the second one we return into a world that isn't quite as exciting because we've already been there. This is the first time that we've been to Eternia. Do you think that this is going to have that novelty value that the first Mario had?
I don't know. I think this might go down the route of Top Gun for me, as funny as it sounds. Like, obviously for you guys, it's I think it'll appeal more to you guys because, as I say, Masters of the Universe was before me, so I've got no reference to any of it, so I don't really have an interest. But like I say, you saw how Top Gun Maverick did. You guys will come out for it, so I've got no interest. But I will probably go and see it, but because it looks camp, so that could be fun. It's just who's playing Skeletor is just putting me off.
Miranda Baccarin's in it though, and she's one of the most beautiful people alive. So that's going to even it out somewhat, even if
Is that
Leto's around.
Vanessa from Deadpool?
Yes.
She's acted with Ryan Reynolds, so I don't know.
She is, and then she was sidelined. Yeah. So, because she's obviously too good for those cunts. Supergirl is also out in June. Kara Zor-El is sent to Earth by her parents to be raised by her cousin Kal-El, known as Superman. Supergirl adopts the secret identity of orphaned Linda Lee and makes Midvale Orphanage her home. And then most of the film is going to be set upon a different planet. And it looks like it looks quite big and exciting. I haven't read all of Woman of Tomorrow, which is the book that it's based on. But the bits that I've read so far have been a different look at a super character, someone who was dealing with trauma because when she was sent from Krypton, she was older, so she remembers it, whereas obviously Kal-El was a baby. He has no recollection of it. And I kind of like that we're going to get a different look at a superhero. It's going to be, as I said, dealing with trauma. Ash, we've liked everything we've seen so far of the DCU, haven't we? Is this any different to you? Are you still looking forward to this one?
Yep, this will be good because I'm not a lunatic, but it is probably going to do the worst because of reasons. And we all know the reasons. Yeah, we all know the reasons, but it's probably going to get bombed just because, again, reasons. But there's going to be no reason because it's going to be brilliant, I reckon.
Yeah. Stu, it's potentially going to be the year of the Momoa because we've got Momoa playing Lobo in this, which is a bit weird because obviously we know him as Aquaman from the previous iteration of this universe. But we've got him in this, we've got him in Street Fighter, and then he's returning as Hate in Dune Part 3. We like a bit of Momoa, so surely this is a good time to be a Momoa fan, you'd think?
I mean, he was also with... I was going to say everyone should just watch Wrecking Crew if you want some Momoa on tap. Because that film is stupid. He knows what he is and he embraces it now. Like after there's like Jason Momoa before his entry into that Fast and Furious universe, and then afterwards, and he stole that film and he had no right doing so.
He really did. Like when I enjoyed it at the time, but when I look back on it now, I'm thinking that film wasn't good. But Jason Momoa was the only reason it was watchable.
He was just having a great old time.
He was.
And watching interviews with him after Wrecking Crew and promoting it and stuff, he seemed like a great guy. He was just loving life. And you'll kind of watch anything he's in now. Him being in this is just a bonus. I don't think it'll get bombed by those people because she's white. And it's an established character. So I don't think it'll have that effect for a change. And she's already been in a film that was very successful. So I've got a sneaking suspicion that this will do really, really well. And I hope it does because the little cameo that she had was funny. And obviously we've talked about the James Gunn stuff for years, and how we're completely invested in his works. So being part of the universe, being part of that vibe, different take, but still, yeah, it'll be great, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I am excited for that one. Another film I'm really excited for is, I think it's out on the same day, and it's Disclosure Day, the new Steven Spielberg,
Yes,
with Emily Blunt, Coleman Domingo, Eve Hewson. I think that is Bono's daughter, who is actually a really good actor, it kind of surprised me, but yeah, solid. Josh O'Collin's in it, Colin Firth, solid. Stu, I heard you say yes. It feels like it's been a while since we've had an event from Spielberg, so I'm all in for this one.
yeah, this was a 20-second and then do the death thing on the trailer for me. I had no idea what it was about. Still don't care. And there was a thing today about this as well that I read, that they're not going to have anything in the third act in any promotional stuff. Hallelujah. Common sense prevails again. Good. Going as dark as possible.
Absolutely.
It looked fantastic. You very rarely misses. You know what you're going to get. Bring it on again. It's a good job we don't pay normal prices for these things. We'd be bankrupt.
I know. We would. Ash, going from the ridiculous to the sublime is Hugh Jackman, because he's going from The Sheep Detectives to The Death of Robin Hood, which I thought looked really good. And like Bill Skarsgård, Jodie Comer's in it as well. Michael Sarnowski, who did, a favourite of this podcast in Pig. Got to be looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I think I sent you that originally, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Sent you the video for that one. Yeah, this looks like it could be good fun. A bit darker than normal. And potential for the Fox to be ousted as the best Robin Hood film.
Finally, after all these years. At the last film of June that I wanted to make mention of, I think it's going to be starring at the new AEW champion Darby Allin, and it is Jackass 5 the movie. I mean, genuinely, we went to the fourth one. Me and you went, didn't we, Stu? And I thought, this is not going to be good. This is going to be middle-aged people just dicking around, and it's going to get tired quick. And I think I went to see it twice in a week because I had such a good time watching it. I presume we're going to go and day one of this one, Stu.
We'll do the same again. It's weird because I saw a video pop up yesterday where Johnny paints himself as the background in the bull ring to camouflage himself, and he stands there until the bull notices him, thinking that he's going to get away with it. And it's always been great. He's always been harmless, harmless to us. Just stupid fun. And that fourth one was way better than it needed to be. Even the cock dinosaur destroyed the...
Yeah. It opened with that, and immediately I was back into being a 17-year-old moron laughing at this stuff. Yeah. Ash, I presume you watched Jackass 4?
Yeah, opening night, and I was in tears. It had no right being his thing. I think it was a little bit more nostalgia more than anything else. I think that helped fuel the fire of it. But yeah, we're going to go, aren't we? And we're going to enjoy it for what it is.
Absolutely. And I'm happy if they did this, if they should give us a film every 2 or 3 years rather than giving us a TV show, because they're older than us, so they're beyond middle-aged men at this point. So I don't want to see them doing this shit every week. They'll kill themselves. So it's absolutely fine if they just give us 90 minutes every couple of years. I'm more than happy with that. Moving into July. Now, Spider-Man is, let's be honest, Spider-Man is a draw outside of... It doesn't matter who plays him. It doesn't matter that it's part of the MCU. People will go and see Spider-Man because it's Spider-Man, regardless. With all of the falters that have happened over the last couple of years with the MCU, I don't envision that to happen with Spider-Man. Ash, I think you're much closer to me when it comes to our feelings towards the MCU than Stu is. What say you on this? Do you think this is going to be a hit where we've had a fair few misses of late? Not necessarily in quality, but in terms of box office.
Yeah, they will, because they will come and they will love it. And if you in that way inclined, you'll in the algorithms, it'll be the best film yet. This insert the Simpsons meme. Say Say the thing, MCU fan.
Yeah.
The thing is, say when you look back at whatever the last one was, Far From Home, it's not a good movie.
Yes, it is.
It's not.
We can't do this again. We did this last time, and it went on for hours.
I wasn't here for that. I had to listen to it, and I had to angrily punch my audio device because you're wrong. It's not a good movie. Like, take out Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. It's not a good movie. Take away the nostalgia. It's not good. But it depends what they're hiding from us. Because I've seen the trailer, and it's doing the same thing as they did where they hid Garfield and Toby. Like you knew something they'd hidden something. If they're hiding Daredevil, then I'm just going to be all in. That just is, because that show's just been top notch it's been the best thing in the MCU for however long. But
I watched the trailer before this because I'm not particularly asked about the film, but I kind of like Spider-Man. He's fighting the hand from Turtles, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I presume Daredevil is going to be in with Spider-Man. So I presume that's it. I thought he looked shit. Like all of the colour palette and everything that I hate about these films is still present here. Like New York has got such an interesting look in pretty much any film, and it looks like it's shot in front of a screen every time. It's awful. But Stu, I presume this is it. Like, how deep are you into it now? Because it's been so bad over the last few years. Has your love of this nonsense waned even slightly?
No, well, it's not a chore. I mean, I haven't watched Wonder Man. I haven't watched Daredevil simply because I wasn't here. So. That will be rectified next week. But Matt Murdock was in Spider-Man film as well, a little cameo, I remember. So it's about time. Other than that, I've watched everything, so I'm not going to stop now. The fact that there's no coincidence that poster that they released looks very similar to the Raimi ones. No coincidence at all, is there? So they know exactly what they're doing. Yeah, this is the Spider-Man that you all fucking love. You're going to turn up and you're going to give us money, regardless of what you think of us anymore. I expect it to be a 6, and I expect it to be very good. The box office will say the opposite, of course. But then I've enjoyed some of it the last couple of years. I didn't really like Captain America, obviously, because it wasn't very good. I enjoyed it more than most people did. This, I think, is it too far? Is it too many? I'm going in with low expectations and hoping to be proved wrong, rather than the other way around. First
time that's happened, then. From you, because you usually go in very positive. So to say you're expecting a 6 is something.
Just because it's the 4th one. And his 7th or 8th appearance altogether. It can't keep being pretty good. There's going to be one where it tails off eventually.
I'd argue it's never been good because he's not a very good actor.
You don't like Uncharted either, and that was fun.
It was not.
But yeah, just because, and I've avoided everything, absolutely everything. Obviously, I know what it's going to be about because of the end of the last one. So that's no surprise. And seeing the poster, which was good. But other than that, I don't need to see it because I know I'm going to be there.
Fair. The Odyssey is out that month. Like that's the event film of the year, I think. And I don't think that's controversial to say that's the one that all eyes are on. The Odyssey, a bit like when Oppenheimer was out. Chris Nolan is a draw on his own. It'll be quite interesting, actually, because we're going to get double Tom Holland that month with Spidey and the Odyssey. That's quite unusual to have 2 big films out in such a short space of time. The Odyssey, Stu, we love Chris Nolan, don't we?
Yeah, it's disappointing if it's less than a 9. That's the bar he's set now. And the fact that they were putting in a year's time on the teasers, like, you know exactly what you're doing. People booking and selling their tickets for it in Mental America. there's a reason why they can do that, because he is a draw. The last few films have been Tenet aside. Some people like it, some people hate it. He's always going to give people an opinion on these films. Oppenheimer's a 10 out of 10 masterpiece, regardless of what you think. It's just, you ain't going to beat that. I don't know how you can possibly beat that. Can you equal it, though? I don't even know what these films are even about. I don't care. I'll just go in and watch it, because it's made by him, and he's brilliant. So that's all we need to know.
Ash, are there any directors who can command, like Stu said, a year in advance? Like, I mean, Scorsese for me is like the greatest director of all time. I love Quentin Tarantino. I don't think either of those have got the mass appeal that Chris Nolan's got.
Spielberg, maybe. I think Spielberg's probably the only one that say other than that, you're looking at the real wrong uns that are Wes Anderson's, because he commands the weirdos, doesn't he? But apart from that, there's not many possible. Again, for proper weirdos, Sam Raimi, maybe.
But none of them are selling tickets 12 months in advance, are they?
No. Say Spielberg's possibly the only real one, but even then, he's been going around too long. And
Ash, coming straight back at you, Moana live action. How shit is this looking already? Like, I mean, I've seen half of the trailer and I was so disappointed. Dwayne's a big guy and it looks like he's wearing a fat suit.
Yeah. The problem. Yeah, I think it's probably just been overrun by ego, hasn't it? They could have got somebody else. And the problem is as well, you're expecting, because of the cartoon, you're expecting Maui to be the big as big, and you can't get anybody that big. Obviously not naturally, without it looking ridiculous. It does just feel like he's told his kids, "I will be Maui. You will see, you will," because he's come out in interviews as well, hasn't he? He said that obviously his kids have watched Moana and he's actually sang to them, and they go, "You're not Maui." So it feels like he's got butthurt about that, and he's gone, right, I'll show you that I'm fucking Maui. Here we go. We just don't need it. We really just don't need it.
No. So we've got Spider, we've got Odyssey, and we've got Moana, Stu. We're not going to get 3 $1 billion plus films there, but I think there's at least one of those films is going to get it, and I kind of feel like Moana's probably the one, in spite of the fact that it looks horrific.
There's not going to be much crossover between Moana and Spider-Man. From a point of view, from a kid's point of view, you will, because you'll get kids going to Spider-Man and you'll get kids going to Moana, and they'll pester their parents and they'll take them to both.
You ain't going to get parents, isn't it?
Yeah, you ain't going to get kids watching the Odyssey.
No,
but you'll get a massive crossover with Spider-Man and the Odyssey, because I think the Odyssey is the one that'll be might not make $1 billion, but it'll be obviously the best film. I think the other two. I don't think Spider-Man will make like. I don't think Spider-Man will make $1 billion though.
no.
I don't think it will. I just don't think it's because of what they've done in the last 5 years. I just don't think I'd be amazed if it's touching like 6, 7. Oh fuck. Completely
dick.
If it's even around that kind of figure, because it's just they've destroyed it. But I think it'll be the weird one where all 3 of them will be successful in their own right. But talking a bit more on though, on Corridor Crew that last week, they analysed the trailer. What you see in that trailer is not what you see on the on-set shots. So what you see in the trailer is a CG body, and it still looks that bad. Because you look at the necklace is different in the on-set pictures compared to what's in the trailer. Obviously, they've got to animate the tattoos anyway, and it still looks that bad.
It looks shonky as fuck, and obviously they've spent a good chunk of cash on that, and it looks terrible. But I also know that the first Moana is like the most streamed movie on Disney Plus.
Yeah, because
it's excellent. 10 years on? It's a great film, but yet a decade on, it's still beloved. So I think people are gonna. I mean, I'm probably gonna see it, even though I know I'm gonna hate it. But I love the original, so I am kind of torn with it.
It's just an ego trip. That's all it is. But it's going to make them so much money because it's been that short of a time that the kids, the young kids who grew up and it was one of their first films, they're going to want to go and see it.
Yeah, and you'll have the parents. Well, yeah, you probably will have at this day and age. You probably will have people who are kids then and are parents now.
You're going to get the wrestling fans as well because they will go and see it because wrestling. Yeah, because we're mongs.
But you don't know about Spielberg. Have you ever heard of a film? It was mentioned on. I didn't find this myself. It was mentioned on Corridor Crew, same time. A film called Always from 1989. So listen to the premise of this without looking it up because it'll spoil it for you. Okay. Who's actually in this? The spirit of a recently deceased expert pilot mentors a newer pilot while watching him fall in love with a girlfriend that he left behind. It's starring Richard Dreyfuss, Holly Hunter, Brad Johnson, John Goodman, Audrey Hepburn, Keith David, Dale Dye, directed by Steven Spielberg.
I've never heard of that. I feel like I know a lot of Spielberg stuff. That's completely past. Always, did you say it was?
Always, yeah. 1989.
Okay. Not a clue. I thought Audrey Hepburn was long retired by the 80s. Well, again, she died in the 90s, didn't she? So
she was retired.
Interesting. Yeah. The last film I was going to make mention of in July, it's the other big hitter of the animated world, Minions and Monsters. World I don't get. I've seen the first Despicable Me, and that was enough for me. Again, that's another big name because the last few Minions films and Despicable Me's, they've made bank. So July looks like it's going to be some heavy hitters going against each other. Something's going to have to give eventually. Stu, obviously, I think you're probably best placed to talk about this one, having kids. Do kids give a shit about Minions still? Is that important still in that world? Your lads excited for this one?
No, they're not. I kind of low-key kind of hate-love them.
Okay.
But you put a Despicable Me film on, they're not going to look away. It's one of them things. It's massive if you're in that environment all the time. There's minions everywhere. Minions at the start of the Mario film. Yeah, it's obviously made by Illumination, but still, they're still there, pissing about. But there's so many people love Minions. I don't see how it fails. But like you say, it's going to be. Could they all make money? I mean, if they all make money, it kind of proves everyone wrong. That you give people what they want, they'll go out, regardless of what the cost of the films are. The cost of the popcorn buckets and the massive Yoshi things that you had for that film. Of course, you've got one.
Here he is, sat next to me.
Didn't have any. I was first showing. Didn't have any.
It was before it was even released that I saw it, because I went to see Little Shop of Horrors, and that was in Telford. I was like, well, I've obviously got to get it then, haven't I?
Yeah. It's one of them things. It's more massive. I'd say it's more massive streaming wise, because they don't seem to last very long when they're out. But when they're out, they make millions and millions of pounds, dollars, yen, everything. And then they disappear, and then they're on streaming, and then they're on lunchboxes and bags and toys, and they're everywhere. You can't escape them, ever.
That's fair. Ash, I'll come to you with the next one. What did you think of Evil Dead Rise?
Loved it.
Well, we're getting Evil Dead Burn this summer, which I didn't know about, and they haven't even released a synopsis or anything, but that's going to be coming out in July. And I didn't know about it, and now all of a sudden I'm like, excellent, we're getting an Evil Dead film in 2026.
Yeah.
What a year to be alive.
Oh, all in. Yeah, the two new ones, they've both been really good. It was obviously they had to go a different way from Raimi and Campbell, like that sort of dark humour. They've just gone pure horror, and it's been great. No notes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a different director, but Sam Raimi is producing again, so at least that's... Oh, it's Lee Cronin directed Evil Dead Rise, which I didn't realise, and obviously we were talking about him earlier as well. This is Sebastian Vanecek, That's not a name I'm aware of. He did Infested in 2023. I don't know that film. It looks like it's a foreign language film because all the names who star in it have all got like umlauts and stuff over their names, so I'm guessing it's foreign language.
Is Lee Cronin the mummy guy?
Yeah. Because that's we were talking about it before you joined us, saying, has he got enough name recognition that having Lee Cronin's the mummy is that going to draw people in? Because that just seems weird to me.
Yeah. I thought, well, this is not Bram Stoker. I thought, this is just being stupid again. I don't know who it is. That makes some kind of horror world. It makes sense if he obviously has, because they wouldn't do it otherwise, would they?
Well, that's it. So, like, right. So he did some short films: Wilbur and Anto, Through the Night, Billy and Chuck. Surely that's not a wrestling one, Ash. Ghost Train, Hole in the Ground, Evil Dead Rise. Those are his only 2 feature films: Hole in the Ground and Evil Dead Rise. Then it's Lee Cronin's The Mummy. Oh, he's the exec producer on Evil Dead Burn and Evil Dead Wrath. And he did 50 States of Fright. Oh, he was in an episode of 50 States of Fright. So look, he's got no name recognition, realistically. I've never even heard of The Hole in the Ground. But yeah, two films, and now it's Lee Cronin's The Mummy. It's unusual. I don't see how that name is going to entice people in. But yeah, it's a strange one, that one is.
Yeah, I saw that there was a big kick-off about someone had put a post on that had complained to the Advertising Standards Authority about a poster on a bus stop of it, that it was going to terrify kids and people who'd lost children. So one of the first replies on Instagram was, "I don't think they've been sucked in and locked in a sarcophagus for this long. It's something to do with this. Grow up." And that was the first time I'd seen that name. Yeah, on a random post about some NIMBY going crazy.
Interesting. Yeah, I thought exactly the same when I was like, Lee Cronin, who the fuck's Lee Cronin? And it's only literally this second where I found out that he did the last Evil Dead. It's a strange one. Stu, Insidious Out of the Further is out in August. I like, you know, like the three of us, we all love horror. I haven't seen a single second of any Insidious film, and I don't know why.
No, same. They all seem to get really well thought of, and really, like, people in that space seem to love them all. But it's like the Annabelle films. Like, I watch them with a teenage son, and they are what they are. The Conjuring and all that stuff, and The Nun and everything in that universe. That was great. Insidious, not a second. Weird.
No, it's an odd one. Ash, have you seen any of the Insidious lot?
No, not.
I don't get it. Why hasn't it broken through into our circle? Because we're all horrid nerds.
Is Insidious the one with the Darth Maul looking one? Is that what that scene comes?
Yeah.
I don't know because I don't know because Rose Byrne's in it, and I like Rose Byrne. It's just never hit my sort of wants.
It was a bit like the Conjuring ones, like they didn't break through until recently, and I wish I hadn't bothered watching them, to be honest, they're shit. But yeah, strange one. And the next film I put on because I assumed Ed was going to be joining us as the horror buff of the group. Yeah. But I'm going to mention it anyway. So the film is called The Brink of War, and it's President Reagan races against time to salvage a deal with the Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev that could dismantle nuclear arsenals or ignite a disaster. Fine, it sounds like a proper grown-up film. Jared Harris, J.K. Simmons, Jeff Daniels. Stu, like, that's a great cast, isn't it? And we don't get these kind of films very often, do we?
It's so like the last Churchill one that we had. That was very serious. Darkest Era, yeah. It sounds a bit similar to that kind of thing. Not however bombastic it is. It's never. I'd never drawn to the cinema to watch them now. I'd rather just watch them at home. So that one might fall foul just for that reason, because there's so many other things. But it sounds interesting though. I like it when they have things like this coming out, because, like you said, we don't see it very often, and they kind of need to still continue to be made. Like in 20 years, are you going to have one about Trump and the Strait of Hormuz played by Glenn Powell? Who knows? But this kind of stuff is important. So, yeah, I mean, I'd never even heard of this before. I'm kind of interested now.
Same. it just sounded intriguing, and it's, as I said, it's the type of film you just don't really get in the cinema very often. But I like the sound of the cast on that one.
That's the kind of film that if when you go into the screen, you'll be glared at by old biddies.
Yeah, almost certainly. Ash, teenage sex and death at Camp Miasma. I know. I knew nothing about this film until before this episode. It's starring Gillian Anderson, so I'm there.
Okay.
Dylan Baker's in it. Jane Schoenbrunn, who did I See the TV Glow, the television glow, I think it was, from a couple of years ago. And when I read what it's about, it follows a young director enthusiastic about resurrecting the Camp Miasma slasher franchise after years of slapdash sequels and waning fandom. I don't know if this is going to be horror or comedy or quite what it's going to be, but as somebody who loves a campsite slasher, I'm quite excited for this now.
That sounds like it could just be that sounds like it could be the piss take that we need in that sort of thing. The scary movies, not anymore, because that does sound a bit piss takey of the campsite slasher, but that sounds like it could be a bit of fun.
I hope so. And Stu, what was that awful fucking film that we saw?
I was thinking of the exact same thing. The one that Tara made us watch. The one that looked like a Resident Evil game. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh god, that was such a miserable fucking experience. That was. I couldn't tell you what the name is. It was just a slow cunt walking through a woods film. That was it.
Violent Nature.
Yes, that was it. Absolutely interminable that was. Fucking hell. Yeah. The last film then that I wanted to make mention is Coyote versus Acme. So this was originally shit-canned to try and save money, and apparently, by all accounts, it was a brilliant film that didn't deserve the shtick that it got. Starring Will Forte, who I love. John Cena's in it, who I don't hate. James Gunn's in there. I think it was written by... It wasn't Gunn... I can't... Let me have a look, see if I can find it. Oh, John Silberman and Josh Silberman and James Gunn wrote it. That's it, yeah. Directed by Dave Green. All reports were that this film was brilliant, and somehow they just didn't know what they had hold of. So they let it go, and eventually a third party ended up buying it off Warner Brothers, who have now going to finally put it out for the world to see. And I think this is going to be a bit of a sleeper hit, Stu, because it's got that bit of history to it where people want to see it do well. Just as a fuck you to Warner Brothers Studios for canning it initially.
Yeah. You don't make a film completely and then just tax rights off it. We've had this thing about ownership of art before. Like Catwoman, it was probably going to be shit. No, it wasn't Catwoman, was it? It was Batwoman.
Batgirl.
Batgirl, whatever the fuck it was. But we don't get that whole Michael Keaton moment again. We don't see that. We never get to see that. That's only going to see the light of day. And it's not right. Like, this is... loads of people know about this story, not just us. And I mean, I don't even if it was awful, I would have gone and seen it anyway. For like you said, it's got the story, it's got the tale behind it, and you kind of need to kind of show them that what they did was not right.
I wonder how much of Batgirl was actually produced in the end, because obviously this was complete and it was ready to go, and you had Crypto and Scooby-Doo film that was canned, but it somehow made its way onto the internet via illegal means. But there's been nothing about Batgirl, so I assume they didn't even finish production of it, so there's nothing to see.
I mean,
it's a shame that is.
There was on-set photos of him in the 89 Batmobile.
Yeah. But I wonder if they finished filming. I wonder how far into production they actually got before it was canned. It'd be nice if even just the script made its way onto the internet, that we could see what it was about, because it feels quite sad that a lot of people just got sacked halfway through a film because they wanted to save money from the taxman. Ash, what are your thoughts on this one? Like, it feels kind of fun, and we don't get, again, it's another kind of film, the Who Framed Roger Rabbit of it all.
Yeah.
We've got animated and live action stuff mixed, and that's kind of cool. It's a rarity in the modern day.
Yeah, it could be. I hope it's fun, because can you imagine if it falters now? It'd be heartbreaking. After, like you say, after all this bullshit, and everyone wants it to. Everyone will want it to do well. Can you imagine if everyone just goes, "No, I'm not going to watch it now, just to fuck you." Oh. No, I think it's again. You're going to get the people. You're going to get the wrestling nerds because we're idiots. And I'm hoping Will Forte can start getting in the people because I like Will Forte. I think he's a funny dude.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, the scene in MacGruber where he's having sex with his dead wife on her grave is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. It's just absurd, but I love that movie. Excellent. Right, short film review is up next, where we will be discussing Breadwinner from 2025. Welcome back to the next part of the podcast. We're going to be talking about a short film which is available on YouTube. So obviously, because we've been doing the short film reviews, like now my algorithm on YouTube is just throwing lots of short films at me, and this one just kept popping up consistently. So I was like, okay, I think we need to do that just to get it out of the way at this point. So I'll put the link in the notes of the episode. So if you want to watch it, it is 15 and a bit minutes long, so it's not a big commitment to get through it. Our job is that we will have 60 seconds in order to review the film. To change it up this week, I shall go first. Okay, let's go. It's a story about a young woman's baking obsession, mixing flour and water with a dash of her tears and then a drizzle of blood. Whilst it reads a bit like a student film, it's silly and small and quite low-key. And with this male lead who's eating open-mouthed, it makes me fucking disgusted. I kind of enjoyed the kitschy camp of Layla's performance in this movie. Like, wide-eyed and open the top, kind of reminded me of Pearl a little bit. Contrasting her against her dopey-ass boyfriend, Win. And it's a metaphor for toxic nature of the unbridled ambition. With Little Shop of Horrors probably being my favourite film of all time. Seeing the sourdough like devouring blood, I kind of dug it. It was sillier than I expected it to be. The surprisingly dark ending probably does come a little bit out of nowhere, but working within the confines of a short film, I'm willing to take that leap of logic. It's not revolutionary, it's a little bit clunky, it's quite off-key, but the sourdough pulsating to life I thought was quite effective. It was definitely on the right side of fun for me. Ash, I will come to you next. Tell me when you want to go.
Go on.
Okay, go.
I sat through this and I quite enjoyed watching this girl descend into madness. You go through the dream sequence where it's all bright and lovely and the bright colours and the vivid lipstick and things like that, and then click, because I can't click my fingers, she's back to eyeshadow and she just looks dishevelled wearing an awful fucking vest that it annoyed me. And the blood budget was a lovely amount for this. I'm on the other side. It annoyed me that there was an evil sourdough monster. I wanted her to shank that motherfucker. Like, I think it would have been a much better thing if she'd have lost her mind and shanked him to death and then ascended into being a baker instead. But I enjoyed it mostly.
Excellent. Lovely. Stu, I'll come to you to wrap us up in this session. Tell us when you want me to hit go.
Yeah. I think this film is like an analogy for what's happened to Bake Off when you employ Alison Hammond. It's. I thought at first it was going to be like, when them weebs who like love their anime figures and they wank off into jars. I thought that's what it was going to be about. When it was all sticky and you couldn't tell what it was, and then you kind of put a bit of black pudding crossed with a bit of the substance, and you get this. And I was quite confused. Like, I didn't really know what was going on. I thought, is this all a dream? What's going on here? I mean, her boyfriend deserved everything he got. I mean, let's be honest. And that bloke's never drunk a pint in his life. But it was strange. It was like strange in a weird, enjoyable way for me. Like, I obviously wasn't looking too deep into it because it's a silly 15-minute horror film. But it was strangely enjoyable for what it was. Just watch it, people.
Excellent. So I assume then, Stu, because obviously you said you're not going to watch Cocktail because you've already seen it, but you're going to watch Young Guns. Are you going to watch the short films before as well? Interesting. I'm looking forward to your thoughts on I'm Not a Robot. I kind of feel like that one especially you'd enjoy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll watch both of them and the nonsense from last week, and then talk about some briefly next week. But yeah, it was. I'll complete the set.
Don't rush for that one last week.
Yeah. Right, okay. Quick break and then we'll be back, and we'll be back on the cruise watching Rain Man. Welcome back to the final part of the podcast. We are here to discuss Rain Man from 1989, released December 16th. It was the second highest opener that weekend, taking $7 million. The number one film that weekend. Stu, any big films you can think of from the late 80s that it could be? And it's a very 80s film as well.
Oh. I don't know why, but 48 Hours just popped into my head. I'm guessing it's not that.
It's not 48 Hours.
Late 80s. Is it like franchisey?
Nope.
Oh, fuck. No idea. I'll pass.
No. Ash, any idea?
Cliffhanger.
94.
It's not Sylvester Stallone, but it is an Arnold Schwarzenegger film.
Commander.
No. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito.
Twins.
Twins. Yeah, Twins was the highest opener that weekend. Which, I mean, I haven't seen that film for a good few years, but that feels like it was the kind of film that was on every summer throughout my youth. Just an amazing movie.
I wish they'd made triplets with Eddie Murphy. It would have been so good.
Yeah. Same. It would have been great. Just like I love Danny DeVito, and whenever you see him and Arnie, like it's very rare that you see them together. When they do seem to genuinely have a bond. Like I think they actually love each other, which is kind of cool. So yeah, I would have loved to have seen that one. So we're here to discuss Rain Man anyway, not Twins, unfortunately. Rain Man, arguably the film that transformed... 88, not 89. Arguably the film that transformed Tom Cruise from movie star to actually a heavyweight actor, I think, because this is proper acting chops in this movie. I know that Hoffman gets the Oscar because he's probably got the flashier role of the two, but Cruise does the heavy lifting in this movie for me. Stu, what did you think of Rain Man?
Yeah, I mean, and that's almost exactly what when I went on the IMDb, just because it has to be done, and that's what Michael Caine said as well about it.
Right,
I'd seen this only once. It was a uni thing, so back in 2002, 3, something like that. I thought it was great. And then, but that's been what, 20-year-old student, watching this film at 42 with first-hand knowledge of that neurodivergent world. This is probably one of the, I wouldn't say it's top 20 worthy, but it's definitely top 30. This was a masterpiece for me. It was superb from both of them.
Yeah. Ash, what did you think about Rain Man?
It's superb. It's his. I'm probably biased because I'm not a big thingy, but it's his best film, like easily. It's brilliant. It's heartbreaking. It's emotional. Say at the bit at the end when obviously you spend most of the film and whenever he gets touched and he does the screaming and obviously that's all really good. And then when they finally put their heads together, I had tears, and I've seen it a couple of times. I love Rain Man, but still, even then, watching them two put their heads together, just oh my god, I'm gone. It's it's superb. It's just beautiful.
I think the first time I saw it fairly recently, like probably within the last decade. And obviously it's a much older film than that, but relatively recent. It was the first time I saw it. And this was only the second time that I'd seen it since then. I love how much of a road trip that it is, rather than, like, it doesn't feel like a drama. It feels like an adventure that they go on throughout most of the film. I do have a slight issue with the third act. I think because we're going on this quite nice road trip of them bonding, the third act, where it becomes this legal medical drama, just feels a little bit out of nowhere. But for almost 2 hours of this 2 hour and 10 runtime, I thought this was just wonderful. Like you said, it's the moment of seeing them bond and grow together and love each other. I think is fantastic. Is it the best performance that Cruise gives? It's the best that I think we've seen, like of an actual performance. As much as I love Top Gun, I think he's acting here. Stu, where do you stand on that? Is this his best performance?
Yeah, I mean, Top Gun's just crazy, isn't it? It's just and filmy films. This is by far and away the best one. So from that respect, it's definitely his best film performance, if it's not the most entertaining. I think you can have two different things for two different requirements. So yeah, it probably is so far.
Yeah, I think definitely so far. When we come to look back at his 80s work, this is going to be very highly ranked, I think.
To watch him go from an absolute arsehole who has no redeemable features whatsoever to, like you say, that's why I didn't have an issue with it, because you followed him being this arsehole who's only in it for himself, whereas towards the end, when it's this medical drama, you can tell it's because he wants to spend time with his brother and he wants to have that relationship with his brother. So I didn't have an issue with it turning into this legal medical drama, because we'd gone on this journey and you've seen him grow into this person who wants to become his brother now. Like, you have the scene in the bathtub where he learns why Dustin Hoffman got sent away, and you can sort of see the shift from there. So I didn't have any issue at all with it. And when you realise he's going to lose and he obviously then they embrace, and it's his best. It's his best for me.
I think it's the most chemistry that we've seen him have as well with any of his co-stars. Like him and Hoffman, they're like, we know they're not brothers, but you almost believe that they could be, because you can feel it. And I think that's like the highest honour of an actor, is that you can feel their performance. You don't just see it; it radiates off the screen that these are two people who actually seemed to enjoy what they were doing together. Yeah. And sometimes that doesn't always necessarily work, but it absolutely did work. And I think it brought the best out in both of them.
I think it shows as well how far he's come from The Colour of Money, where he was obviously outacted by Paul Newman, whereas now he's with another heavyweight in Dustin Hoffman, but he's going toe for toe.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been 2 or 3 years between films, so it's not even like it's a long time, but his learning curve from being young shit to being hot shit is quite a steep learning curve, but it's incredible. And like, I'd put down The Colour of Money as something to mention, because you're right. He did that because he wanted to work with a big name. He did this because he wanted to work with Hoffman. And he went from being massively overshadowed to being his equal, if not his better, if I'm being honest. Stu, what do you think?
I don't think he is his better. I don't think that. I've seen, not all, obviously. I've seen many Dustin Hoffman films, and I've never seen a performance like this from him. This is world class. Deserved everything he got. For putting a year's worth of research into it, to getting it, nailing that condition absolutely 100% spot on. I think it's exceptional. But the fact that playing opposite him could easily have won as well, kind of says it all. I think equal is more than enough you can say. I don't think either of them is better. They're just excellent in different ways.
See, I like Hoffman, don't get me wrong. I think Cruise has got the more difficult job. Because, don't get me wrong, playing someone with that condition, playing someone autistic at a time where autism isn't quite as widely known as it is now. Like, he's got a tough job, don't get me wrong. But to allow him to do the showier performance of the two, Cruise being the straight man, it is such a difficult job to not just lean into your worst excesses with that role and try and go toe for toe to try and keep your performance restrained. allows Hoffman to be as big and silly. Silly, maybe not the right word. There are moments where I think he might be over-egging it, if I'm being honest. Whereas I think Cruise is perfectly on note throughout his performance. I do think Cruise should have won the Oscar, not Hoffman. He didn't even get nominated, which is fucking criminal, because that performance is outstanding. Another thing I really like in this, Hans Zimmer's score. I thought the score throughout this was fantastic. It's very rare that especially at this period where I think we haven't seen many films, other than the odd one where they mention the name of the film in the soundtrack. Like they just generally haven't really popped for me at all throughout any of Cruise's films. But this one I thought was excellent. That was a really good. Hans Zimmer is someone I've got a bit of a love-hate relationship. Sometimes I think he's great, sometimes I think it's really corny. And I think he was perfect in this. I think it was an excellent score.
It's got to be one of his first ones, surely.
Now, I feel like he may have been around for a while. Let me have a quick look on the IMDb. Hans Zimmer.
The first thing that stood out to me when Iko Iko came on, I thought, oh yeah, that's the theme tune from the rock climbing scene in Mission Impossible 2. Which it actually was. Just recorded by someone else.
He'd been around since 1982, Moonlighting. He did Moonlighting, he did Eureka, don't know what that is, the story of O2, Who Cares, Doctor in Distress, Insignificant. There's a lot of films that I've never heard of. This is the first film that of The Last Emperor, I've heard of that. But this is the first sort of big film of his, by the looks of it, that's really breaks out. The Vegas sequence scene might be one of my favourite scenes, like in any Tom Cruise movie. I thought it was brilliant. Again, it's the camaraderie, the chemistry between those two in that scene, where everything's kind of heightened and exciting and a little bit scary, and I just think they're wonderful together in that one. That's the heart of this film.
Yeah, and how he's like you'd see autism now, and you think that's going to be overwhelming. But it's a different type. That's the point, and that's the whole point of it. That you kind of drawn into it, not really understanding what's going on, because you're also about to think he's not going to like this many people, but because he's focused on his mission of counting cards without saying he's counting cards, that's all he cares about. And you can see that's what when he's doing that thing with his eyes, it's amazing.
Yeah,
and yeah, whenever they look at each other, he's like yeah, like fully on focus, and he's there with giving the Cruise smile, class.
I kind of wonder if this portrayal was ever like harmful to the autistic community. Like, I assume not everyone who's got autism can count cards. Like, most of them probably can't count, like, fucking, if you throw 100 marbles on the ground, can they count them immediately? Probably not. And I wonder if there was a little bit of wider ignorance from the public to think that this is it. Because you made the point there, Stu, that autism it comes in a lot of different flavours.
Yeah,
and I wonder how this, because obviously we're too far removed from it to really know what the impact was at the time.
I mean, they do say what they're called, and the guy it was based on. It's a certain kind of superpower that they've got. That they're all maths geniuses, and some have got like enhanced hearing, and that's what X-Men's based on, isn't it? It's like things like that. But yeah, I mean, it might have done. I mean, it might like what's eating Gilbert Grape. Well, what did that do for people like that?
Yeah, it's true. And I kind of wonder, because like I can't. Was it in extra? Was it Kate Winslet? I can't remember if it was extras with Kate Winslet, or it might have been Garden State with Natalie Portman's character making a joke about if you play a retard, you get an Oscar. Was the joke?
Yeah, I think it was Kate Winslet. Yeah,
was it? Yeah, I know there was a joke in both of them about it. And I kind of wonder, because this feels like that's probably the prototype of that. If you play someone with a disability, you're more inclined to get an Oscar. And I kind of wonder that, because, again, it feels like a bit of a cheat code. Because I remember it was in extras when she makes a joke about if you're in a Holocaust film, you get an Oscar. Because then 4 years later, she did The Reader, and she won an Oscar for playing a Nazi in a Holocaust film. So it feels like there are certain tropes, and this feels like it could be a trope somewhat when it comes to Oscar winning. Anything in particular you didn't enjoy about this film, Ash?
I It's not the film; it's the fact that it's been ruined by The Hangover. That the casino scene, it's literally just that's what they did in Hangover, isn't it?
You know, I can't even remember The Hangover. I know I've seen it. I didn't particularly enjoy it. I can't remember anything about
For
it.
God's sake.
It's just gone from my memory.
They finger up Zach Galifianakis, don't they? And they do the card counting scene in The Hangover. It's literally near enough shot for shot, isn't it?
Okay.
And it's kind of just like, this is the original and it's just better. Because like you say, they're acting their asses off in it.
Stu, anything that didn't really work for you?
Not in terms of didn't work. I mean, I'd have preferred the ending to be something else. But I understand why they did what they did. From the point of view of like realism and stuff. And now, again, knowing what that world is like, it makes perfect sense what they did. But that was literally the only thing I could think of. It was a 10 out of 10 film for me. It's just like I said before, a masterpiece. I couldn't find any. I was sitting there afterwards, like 10 minutes before I went on the school run, and I couldn't think of anything. Nothing to say.
Interesting.
I like the bait. I like the bait and switch of it because obviously they go with the. Would you want to go home with him? Yes. Would you want to go home with him? Yeah. And then they twist it, and the knife twists, and you're like, oh.
When
and
the
it's just
falls out.
It's fucking it's horrible, but it's brilliant at the same time because it's realism, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I think because I said I don't like how the last 20 minutes particularly work in this film. I think that they could have done a little bit more if they'd have got rid of the girlfriend subplot, because I don't know what that added to this film. She was sort of superfluous to this movie. And I think if they'd have got rid of Susanna earlier, or just not at all, they could have spent a little bit more time in just earning that twist to the end a bit better. That's pretty much the only thing I can think of. It's just that I don't like the turn, and I just didn't see the point in the girlfriend subplot in this movie. But other than that, I think it's a great film.
She was there so that he could say it was wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like it, doesn't it? Because I know he's playing this yuppie, this hotshot, so I suppose he's going to have a hot girlfriend, and I get it, but she was in it when she had no real place. It would have been better if she was just a one-night stand, I think, and then move on and tell us the story, because she wasn't particularly needed. Does he run? There was no running, but there was some agitated power walks, from what I can remember, through the airport.
He runs when the fire alarm goes off.
Yeah, out of bed.
Yes, yeah, of course. Does he take his shirt off? I think he was shirtless when he was taking a business call in the hotel. That's the only thing I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
Sunglasses, yes, he's wearing a pair of Ray-Ban Club Masters to give that proper yuppie hotshot look. They're pretty cool glasses as well. Explosions, like, very much not. Cruise doing cruise things. Stu, you've already said that he was playing...
The smile. The
smile.
Yeah.
He was playing a dick who goes on a bit of an arc to end up being a good guy. That's become quite a cruisy thing. He learns a lesson after being humbled. It's very cruisy. Fast-talking hustler persona. Coming back to The Colour of Money. It's all stuff that I think... You can see the journey that he's been on learning to become Tom Cruise, as it is. So apparently he pushed for the role of Charlie because he wanted to work with Hoffman and prove that he could play a giant cock, in his own words, who finds redemption, and he and Hoffman famously rehearsed for weeks, often swapping roles just to understand the rhythm of the scenes. I'd be kind of interested to see some of the performances where they were playing the other role in this. But it's very Tom Cruise to go that balls deep that you're not only going to learn your own character, you're going to learn your partner's character. Cruise's thoughts on the film. So he said that he and Hoffman thought the movie may not work. Cruise has repeatedly said that during production, he and Dustin Hoffman were so unsure of the film's tone and structure that they joked the movie should be called Two Schmucks in a Car. He said in multiple interviews over the years, and this is his go-to story about the film's chaotic shoots. He said that Hoffman's performance changed him as an actor. He said that Hoffman taught him patience, taught him how to listen on screen, forced him to slow down and let scenes breathe. It's one of the rare films where Cruise openly credits another actor for shaping his craft. He said the film taught him how to play the supporting lead, which I think is a really interesting thing, because he's not the supporting actor in this film. He's in this film for 110 minutes, whereas Hoffman's in it for 90. So they're both the lead in this film. It isn't, a lead actor and a supporting actor. And he has to be the supporter just because of the type of role that he plays. He's spoken about the research that he did, which already been mentioned. He said that the Vegas sequence is one of his favourite ever shoots. He's talked about this apparently quite a few times, and it's the moment that film clicked for him, the first time he felt that the movie had a rhythm. He was surprised by the success, so the film went on to become the highest grossing movie of 1988. Obviously, it won Best Picture, Best Actor. It became a cultural touchstone. He said he thought it was a small, strange, intimate movie, and it ended up being anything but that. And it's one of the films he's most proud of, and he's spoken quite warmly about working with the director, Barry Levinson. So Scientology watch, there's not many stories this week.
Stu
Obviously
won't
last
know
week
what
we discussed Project Snow White. So Stu, basically between the film before and Young Guns is when he married Mimi Rogers, and that's when he became a member of the Church of Scientology. So I thought we should probably do Scientology watch and just drop a story in or something. When you get to listen to the episode, you'll hear about Project Snow White from last week, which was quite an interesting tale.
Outrageous.
There's nothing else, because we're still in 1988 at this point, but between this film and the next film in 1989, praise Xenu, it all changes for Scientology in the next 12 months. Yeah. The big three awards, cumulatively, we were up to 20 before this film. Following this film, there were 8 Oscar nominations, 4 of which were won. It was nominated for cinematography, art direction, editing, original score. It won for original screenplay, best director for Levinson, lead actor for Hoffman, and best picture. It had 3 nominations for actor, editing, and screenplay at the BAFTAs. And at the Globes, it was nominated for original screenplay, director, and it won best picture and best performance. So that is now up to 35 nominations and wins in Tom Cruise's filmography so far. Obviously, there's no Razzies for this because it's fucking brilliant. The critical response, massive acclaim. Hoffman was pretty much the focus of the acclaim at that time. Gene Siskel gave the film 3.5 stars out of 4. He singled out, put my teeth back in, singled out Cruise for praise. The strength of the film is really that Cruise's performance. The combination of 2 superior performances make this movie worth watching. Amy Dawes of Variety, she said that one of the year's most intriguing film premises, it's given uneven, slightly off-target treatment. She calls the road scenes hastily, loosely written, with much extraneous screen time, but admired the last third of the film, calling it a depiction of 2 very isolated beings who discover a common history and deep attachment. One of the harshest reviews, unsurprisingly, came from Pauline Kael, who said that everything in this movie is fudged ever so humanistically. It's perfunctory, low-pressure way, and the picture has its effectiveness. People are crying at it. Of course they're crying at it. It's a piece of wet kitsch. So we've had very good to very bad reviews. The modern reassessment, there's some criticism levelled at the magical savant trope, but Cruise's performance is actually rated higher now because people realise how difficult it is to play the straight man next to a character like Raymond. It sits with 88% on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's almost 9 out of 10 critics were fans of this film. The budget and box office for the film, budget was 25 million, which gives us a cumulative total of 153 million. The reports vary on the box office, but it's reported as much as 429.4 million returned, which gives us a cumulative total so far of 1,265,900,000 for Tom Cruise. I mean, that's just in his 80s work alone so far. We've still got one more film to go, and he's already in the billion club. Just amazing. The reports vary between 350 and 430 against a budget of 25 million. these films, these mid-range budgets, they just don't exist. We say all the time, low budgets and high budgets and nothing in between, because they seem to be the riskiest ones to Hollywood. And I think Hollywood is worse off for it, in my opinion. But here we are. Stu, Cage or Cruise?
There's no question. He hasn't got this in him, either role in him whatsoever. Cruise all day long.
Tom Cruise playing Dustin Hoffman's character is kind of dangerous.
No, you
especially
can't
at this
do
point.
that.
Ash, Cage or Cruise?
No, you can't. I'm trying to think if there's any role that he could have played. Possibly like his workmate at the start of the film, the one who's talking on the phone. But that's it. No, you can't put him anywhere near this movie.
No, like I'm trying to think of any roles sort of vaguely similar to Cruise. There's a little bit of the Family Man, Stu. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Where he goes, where he plays a schmuck lawyer, I think it was, and then he becomes a good person at the end. It's a similar thing, but I don't think he's got it in his locker to play either role here, if I'm honest, especially not in 1988. Is Cruise the saviour of cinema or just another sinner, Ash?
Saviour, obviously. There's no question.
Yeah. Stu?
Yeah. No question whatsoever, is there?
Yeah.
Triple
3 for
A.
3. Yeah, I've said it before, I think he's the actor in this film. He's just incredible. If you enjoyed Rain Man, you may also like Stu.
I mean, it's not exactly the same. But from a kind of maths point of view, and the fact that it's a film full of exceptional performances and a good film in its own right, Good Will Hunting, maybe?
I thought of Good Will Hunting at first. Great film. Ash?
I was trying to think of the best sort of ones. In a sort of sense, I thought of Moneyball, because sort of Jonah Hill's character in that is kind of along that line, I guess. So I'm going to go with that, I think.
I went with The Peanut Butter Falcon. I was previously recommended on this show by our good friend David Evans. It's a film about a runaway with Down syndrome and a small-time outlaw on a river journey. Like, it's a really good performance from Shia LaBeouf, who, like, he's a prick, but he's also a very good actor at points. And I will die on the hill that Dakota Johnson never puts a bad performance in an independent film. Like, I think she's a really good actor, but when she does blockbusters, it just goes sideways for her every time. And plus, one of my favourite wrestlers is in it, Cactus Jack himself, Mick Foley. So, yeah, bit of a winner. Right, so what's next for us? So we're going to have next week off, and then we'll be back in May. In May, I've got us down to look at animated TV. We'll start with The Simpsons, and then we're going to talk about South Park, do some of the Seth MacFarlane stuff, then the streaming age of the animated world. The films that we're going to do, let me just get the list. So the first short film review is going to be on a movie called Umbrella, which is available on YouTube. And the Tom Cruise film, I don't think it's that one. I'd be very surprised if it is. The Tom Cruise film that we're going to be doing is the final one of the 80s, and it's Born on the 4th of July, which I haven't seen. This is going to be a new one to me. The biography of Ron Kovic, paralysed in the Vietnam War. I'm not going to like this. He becomes an anti-war and pro-human rights political activist after feeling betrayed by the country for which he fought. Actually, I might. It's Oliver Stone directing it, which in Nicolas Cage time, Stu, he's been a little bit hit and miss. Because obviously he did World Trade Center and he did Snowden, which was
good.
Yeah, but World Trade Center certainly wasn't.
No good.
Hashtag never forget. Yeah, it was dog shit, let's be perfectly honest. So, it's interesting. It is weird how much he does historical drama. Like that seems to be his niche, isn't it, with Oliver Stone? I'm going to reserve judgment on this one. I haven't seen it before, but we'll see how it goes anyway. Apparently there's a couple of Oscar nominations in there as well. Interesting. Right, okay, so I will put the link for the Breadwinner YouTube short in the notes. Let me just make a note of that. And if you can subscribe to us on whatever podcast they listen to us on. We would love you forever. And a 5-star review would be even better. If you want to get in contact, it's at Cage Fighting Pods on the socials and cagefightingpod@gmail.com via the emails. But this week, Ash, would you like to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Stu, would you like to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from me too. And remember, I'm an excellent driver.